Hello, welcome back. So let us continue to talk about the distribution function for data analytics. When you choose the pairs function for each variables and run it, so you may get a diagram here. So you may zoom the result here. So don't you think this diagram is professional, right? So it looks more professional than Excel. So here is a pairs diagram for each variables. So how to read, to understand the diagrams mean. So when we choose the variable to pair, so it will pair both each variable. So sepal length, sepal wise. Petal length, petal wise, so it's pair. Also, it's grouped by species. It will classify by the species. So you can see here species, the pink color, it means the species is Sentosa. For the green one is versicolor. For the blue one is virginica. In this diagram, you may see the pairs for each variables. So here is the sepal length compared with sepal wise. 花瓣的长度跟花萼的长度跟花萼的宽度。So here is the distribution for the variables sepal length and sepal wise for this diagram. Do you know how many points for this small diagram? There are 150 points in this little diagram. And you can see the pink is identified for the Sentosa. Green is versicolor. Blue, it means virginica. So let us go back to our studio to see what is going on. Do you know the computer how to draw this diagram? Okay, so let us go back to the iris dataset here, and you can see the content in the iris. Let me the font size to for, oh, it's okay, so it's still small, not. Okay, so how does the computer draw this diagram? So you may see here, because this diagram is to draw the pair with sepal length and sepal wise. You can see here sepal length and sepal wise, which is the first column and the second column. So in the first observations here, the first observation, the sepal length is 5.1. Sepal width is 3.5. So you can see here. For the sepal length 5.1, here is 5, right? So 5 is all the way here. 5.1 and sepal width is 3.5. 3.5 is here. So for the first observation, so the computer just draw a dot here, a point is here, right? And also this observation is the species for this observation is Sentosa. So it pin the points with pink color, right? Okay, so let us have some examples for Virginica, which is green color. If we draw the observation for 60, this one, 5.2 and 2.7. 5.2 is also here. 2.7. 2.7, it should be maybe this one or this one. Okay, so the computer draw the 150 points for each sub-diagram. So you may see how many sub-diagram here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay, so what does this diagram for? So this diagram is draw the pair with sepal width and petal length. What about this one? So this one is petal length and petal width. And this diagram also shows the correlation for each pair. What is correlation mean? Correlation we call positive correlation is when A goes up, when A is become bigger and the variable B is become bigger. So it's positive correlation. In Chinese we call 正相关. So what about negative correlation? Is when variable A going big, become bigger, and the variable B is become smaller. So it's a negative correlation. So we call 负相关. So here you may see the correlation for each variables. So here the sepal width with the sepal length, they are negative correlation. So for the correlation is always between -1 to 1. If correlation is close to 1 is positive. If it close to -1, so the correlation is negative. So what about if the correlation is 0 or almost 0? It means there is no relationship between these two variables. So we always say the correlation may be higher than 0.6. So the correlation will make effect. So you can see here the correlation here is 0.8. It's quite big because it's close to 1. So the maximum correlation is 1. So right now it's 0.87. So the correlation between petal length and sepal length, there are correlation, positive correlation. So what about this one, petal width and petal length? These two variables are also positive correlation. So what about this one? So this one is negative, right? It's minus 0.4. So for the petal length and sepal width, they are negative correlation, 负相关。这两个变数是负相关。Is it clear? Okay, so this diagram is a very typical visualization for programming, design, and also for data analytics. So for the next 2 weeks, maybe we have the visualization course for your guys. Okay, so please have this pair diagram, and you should know the meanings for each diagram, especially for the colors. What does the colors mean? Because it groups by category, Sentosa, versicolor, and virginica. And what is correlation mean? Okay, so for this distribution we call a histogram. It's the numbers of each variable, numbers. Okay, it's your turn to have a look at for this distribution